All right, we got ourselves all kinds of JB quick weld. This stuff is actually pretty good. I like it for its quick set, like thingies, properties. Um, we're going to be using this. I'm going to do the outside of the bumper first, and then tomorrow morning I'll probably do the inside once the outside kind of holds its shape, because the outside is what I want to really hold shape before anything else. And we're going to pretty much apply it almost like body filler. So I'm going to get mixing and then apply, and then I'll show you guys. This video isn't going to be very long. What's going on, Flanagan? Oh, conduit scared him. He's an old man. So I'm going to get to this, and I'll show you guys what we end up with. Dulcifer is out here on the job site, making sure everything smells good. She smells the JB weld, but I might add, I wipe this down with acetone, and acetone's like the only chemical I would ever use in the house because it smells like your wife's nail polish remover and her nail polish product, so it doesn't smell too bad, but you know, you don't want to fucking go nuts with it. But you can see I wiped it down, got all the dust. It is a hot chemical in terms of it will melt stuff, but clean it so we got good bite. That's important. Prep is everything. You see we sanded it, you know, got it all roughed out so it's got plenty of mechanical adhesion. So that's also very, very important. All right, as you guys can see, I got it down pretty smooth. This is actually pretty good. I wanted to cover my area, creating a very, very light, kind of like a bubbly type deal, right? Because this is a round bumper, so you're going to be able to add a little bit of material and hide it. And I want to leave as much of this as possible so that it will reinforce the front of the repair. Now, the reason why I wanted to do the front of the repair, as mentioned, is I want to keep the overall original shape. Now, it's going to be a little harder in some of these areas. I did leave this fog lamp bezel in place just to help me guide where I was going to kind of, you know, I'm trying to keep it somewhat nice. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be more than presentable once it's all done. So over here, we got our critical area. And then once we do, once this dries, I'm going to flip it over, do the inside, which may be a little bit harder because we got all those wires kind of sticking out. I won't be able to spread it as easy, but I will come up with a way to figure that all out and reinforce the inside. And then we'll let this dry overnight. And then I'll probably lightly sand it with a DA just to kind of shape it and feather it a little bit. And then we're just going to skim coat it with regular body filler. I'm not going to worry about using flexible body filler. Again, this is not a perfect repair, but this is a good cross between a good DIY approach to fixing a bumper with pretty common items. I think I got maybe $35 in JB weld. I wanted to have enough, and I wanted it to be fresh, so I did buy new. And oh, I almost forgot. I did find some like mesh that you would use for drywall. This really won't add rigidity, but what it will do is it will add some consistency to the JB weld. When we use a mesh like this with regular repair materials in the shop, it's very similar to this, but it's mainly there to the weaving. Once the material sets into it, it does give it a little bit of rigidity. So I did pick up some primer, so we're going to primer up the fenders for my buddy 67 Cutlass tomorrow, and hopefully get this repair done as well. Tomorrow's supposed to be really nice, so I'll be doing the brakes on the car and this as well. Getting this all ready, which this is going to need just like a minor skim coat of body filler, and we're going to sand it down with a DA. You know, again, the whole concept is to make this as nice as possible with spending as little as possible. I looked at an aftermarket bumper cover. They were anywhere between $300 and $400. Obviously, I would have wanted something that was going to kind of fit somewhat halfway decent, and you're in the $400 range. Then you add paint into the mix, and I just quoted out the paint for my friend Dave's fenders. That's going to be $220 for a quart of paint without reducer, and that's not including clear. So, so far, I got maybe 3 cents of mechanical wire, a drill bit, a flap wheel, so I can grind it. I mean, right now I think I might be at most $50 into this repair, and once it goes in the car, it should look pretty damn presentable. I don't know how close the blue is going to look. I think I'm going to give it a whirl and dab it, and we'll show you guys here in a second. All right, so it's a little too blue. It's a little too light, but you know what? It beats having a primer spot, so I think I'm gonna just go with it and go ahead and just spray some color on it. I think I got some black base coat to kind of darken it up and kind of play with it. I think I got a finer, I don't know, I got a couple of other, this is like a darker silver I can add in there, maybe darken it up. And I got a lighter here. I got a couple of, this one would actually probably work to our benefit. This is a darker gunmetal. I'm gonna mix it up and we'll church it up. I got some mixing cups and I'll try to get it close with what I got. I got a bunch of colors I can play with, so I'm going to try to get it a little closer because that's really, really bright. But also do keep in mind that the paint will, this is saturated, it will dry a lot duller. But obviously you can tell the coarseness and the metallic of this paint and the original paint is different. This is a fine metallic. This is a really coarse metallic. This isn't dirt you're seeing. This is actual metal flake. It's a really coarse metallic. But it's a kind of a lackluster blue really. But I would like to try to somewhat make it a little nicer. But we'll see. We'll see what tomorrow brings. We'll be benchtop chemists tomorrow. I don't want to do that in the basement. I'll do that out in the garage once we get this thing in some primer. When I want to prime this, of course, when I also primer up the fenders, that way we mix up our product and it'll be a one-to-one deal. Fenders will be primered, and then also this will get primered at the same time, and it'll actually have a good urethane primer on there. And I don't know what I got for clear coat, but maybe I'll just throw base coat on there, and once it's on the car, I'll actually mix up some color at the shop, dust it, and spot clear it. Since we got some corners here, we can back mask it and kind of hide it and kind of do it like a lot lizard, you know, like a dealership lot rat. But yeah, it is what it is. We'll let you guys go. Share, like, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. Follow along because we're going to keep working on this and kind of follow it along. You know, the good old JB repair here. All right, so I gave it, it's been over an hour. It's already dry on the surface. This is actually really, really smooth. There isn't much of a bump. Again, you kind of use the contour to kind of hide that little layer up. So I think this is going to be a nice little easy sand, and then we'll skim coat from the top down, and we'll finesse it with a little body filler. But this is actually pretty tough. It rolled over on me while I was setting up to kind of make this video, and I actually held it by the weakest, thinnest point here, and it didn't split. So now that we're going to do the inside, it should be even sturdier. The inside's already prepped out. So far, so good. Let me set this on here where it won't fall over. Kind of a license plate area, I think. But yeah, you can see this area is going to be harder to get the material to lay flat like it is on the outside, but we're not gonna worry about that because that's gonna be a reinforcement we got up here to do, here and here, and it should work out pretty darn well. I'm actually pretty excited. You know, it's only been sitting for an hour. It's only gonna get harder. So this stuff I do like to let sit overnight, but I did use the quick set just so I can come out here, or down here I should say, and give it a inner support with JB Weld. And tomorrow we're going to get this thing all purdied up and in primer, and maybe we'll figure out some paint and see how bad it looks. And either way, I forgot my clear coat, but I'm going to put color on it anyway so it doesn't look ugly. So we'll let you guys go. All right, there I got the inside. Obviously you can see like the bumps where my stitching was, but this should be good. What I am going to do is I am going to put some tape down so that it doesn't drip off and kind of flatten it out just a hair. Then I'll turn this back over just so it maintains its shape. The bumper does flex a little bit, as you can see, and I don't want it to dry in a stretched out form since the weight of the end is pulling it over. So let me know what you guys think. If this helps you, if not, maybe I should go pound sand. I don't know. But I actually am kind of enjoying fixing this bumper because, again, I'm all for saving money. And, the car is actually in pretty good shape. And I did kind of want it to look a little presentable. And aftermarket bumpers, $400. New ones, even more than that because they come pre-painted. And this was just a cheap and ineffective way to use unconventional methods, doing the right thing the wrong way, if that makes sense. No real body shop would do this, but this doesn't make this a bad repair. It's just going to be prone to breakage if you hit it there. Now that it's more rigid, it's like glass. It's rigid, but it becomes fragile. With a plastic welder, you're actually fusing the plastic with the same type of plastic. So usually there's markings on the inside of the bumper, like right here. This is polypropylene. Some are, so that's the PP, it's polypropylene. You would get your proper rod and use it to fuse the metal. Sorry if my phone just flipped around, but yeah, you would use your PP rod, and I don't know, does my phone keep like flipping? Anyway, yeah. So you grab your corresponding material rod and you weld it just like you would if you're stick welding, you nickel rod, whatever, or brazing, you use your bronze rod or whatever. So this is just a kind of a topical type repair, which there is a lot of materials out there to make repairs like this. You would, in that situation, you would use either a stainless steel mesh that you heat into the plastic. Usually I do that by getting the mesh cherry hot with a MAP gas torch. It's very thin gauge wire, so I get it cherry hot. I press it in with an iron, and then I move my way, and then I go in with a soldering or a plastic welding iron. It's pretty much a soldering iron, and then I work the plastic in. I do the outside, and then I do a topical repair material that also works as a reinforcement and adhesive that you could sand and paint over. Again, there is so many materials out there for plastic repair. I'm just using what you can literally go down and buy at the parts store, which is not intended for at all this, but it will work. And you guys will see once it's on the car what we end up with. So we'll let you guys go. Share, like, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram as Copper Cutlass, and we'll let you guys go.